Diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and today I have with me Bruce Bivens, who's a linebacker out of East Carolina. How's your day been, sir?
It's been pretty good, had workouts and team activities today, and it's been pretty good. It got better. So yeah.
Cool. I realize you got a lot going on. You figure now you're, working out with your team, and it's kind of like summer's ending very early for guys. So you can't, you got to get all those vacation stuff out of the way pretty early. Um, out in Carolina right now, I suppose, right?
Yeah,
Um, but your hometown is actually like in the Houston area, right?
right.
So, walk me through a little bit, just a little bit of your history. Tell us about where you're from, and just kind of give me a brief summary if you don't mind.
Obviously, I'm from Houston, Texas. I was recruited by East Carolina. Um, I mean, far as like the recruiting process, I had over 20 FBS college offers. I decided to come to East Carolina because when I came on my visit, I felt like I was at home. I love the culture here. It's a real college town, and I just grew like I had a love for the place, so I decided to make it my home for the next 4 to 5 years. So yeah,
Yeah, and I know it sounds kind of funny, but my wife really likes the mascot of the Pirates. They're like,
right.
yeah, give me a T-shirt. I'll take a pirate shirt any day. So, gotta love it. Uh, what about you, as a prospect? Because obviously, I'm sitting down here talking to you, because there is a possibility for you to have a shot at the next level. So, tell me about you as a linebacker. So, what kind of linebacker are you, and what do you feel is like your best strength as a prospect?
I feel like my best strength as a prospect. I feel like I'm a vocal leader on the field. I'm real physical. You can't like you can't you can't instill that into people. Like you gotta have it. I'm a really explosive, twitchy linebacker. I have some speed up in there. Like I feel like I'm an overall linebacker, and I could pretty much do a lot of things. So yeah, I just love playing linebacker. I like hitting people.
Right. Well, you gotta love hitting people if you're a linebacker for sure. So, you said you're vocal. So, would that mean you're comfortable with a leadership role? How are you as a leader?
Uh, I'm just vocal. I make sure everybody get their calls and stuff. If somebody's missed a line, like the D line or anyone, yelling. Make sure we all on the same page and we all running the same defense. So
Cool. So, and what about special teams, man? Like, you got a lot of reps out there on special teams, like running down the field, pounding it into somebody. Tell me about that.
yes, sir. I've ran down on punt before. I didn't ran down on kickoff as well. I played kick return before, so I've kind of done it all. It's pretty fun. I love running down on kickoff because you get the first hit of the game, or if you're out there first. But yeah, I love kickoff.
Yeah, it's all about setting the tone, going out there, punching somebody in the mouth, especially if you're the first to do it. Be, just an excellent opportunity there for you out there on special teams. So, neat. Talk to me about how you would prepare yourself, coming up to like a typical game. So, walk me through what you're doing there in the film room and weight room. Like, how does that look for you, if you don't mind?
Like far as the weight room, I make sure I get a lot of extra stretching and stuff in, so I can be loose and stuff for the week. Um, our strength staff do a great job working with us and making sure our bodies are fresh and stuff like that. So I let them do their part and I do mine. Far as like in the film room and preparing for preparing for the week, I'll make sure I watch a lot of film on my opponent to where I could, call their plays out and run a play for them. I'll just watch a lot of film before and after practice, and hopefully that give me that confidence I need to play as fast as I would like to in the game. I try to practice game. I practice at game speed, so it won't be foreign to me when I do get in the game.
So, I mean, you're talking about, obviously you got to get in the film room and study a lot of people. So, who's been like your, I don't know, maybe your best competition? Who you think you've studied the most there in the film room?
I wouldn't say study the most, because I study all my opponents a lot, and I try to break down every little detail that I possibly can. But I oof, it's that's kind of a hard question. But someone that I studied the most of, I could say, and paid off, was my Temple game. I watched their run game a lot. I know I just watched every little thing about them, and it paid off. I had a great game against them. 11 tackles, 2 TFLs, and an interception. So that was one of my better games since I've been at East Carolina.
So, I mean, since you talk about it, I mean, is there maybe like a particular play out of that game that just kind of sticks in your mind? Like if we had to turn on one particular play and say, you know what, that's him, like Bruce is really flying out there on that play. What's the one play that sticks out in your memory?
Uh, it Matter of fact, it was before the half. I knew Temple was going to run the ball. They were in the pistol formation, and I knew exactly what play they was going to run. And I seen the running back. It was almost like a counter play, and I seen the tight end blocking down, and I just scraped tight, and I knocked the running back out the game. That was my favorite hit. I mean, I knocked myself out too, but I got back up. But I couldn't stop talking about that hit with my teammates. Everybody was talking about it. It was just amazing.
I mean, definitely when you make plays like that. I mean, very impactful moments out there on the field, and crowd loves it. But you got to be able to get up and walk away. So I mean, that's good. So I
Right.
like it. Um, who impresses you the most there as a teammate? I mean, over the course of your career there at ECU, like, tell me maybe one or two guys that have just stood out.
We have a lot of guys like that. It's pretty hard. It's hard to say.
I know, man. I mean, but give me maybe one or two guys that you feel need the most love. You know what I mean?
Holt Nailers. I could say Holt Nailers because I like me and him. We're in the same lift group. I watched him work day in and out. He's a great leader. He does what he's supposed to do on and off the field, and I just know he's shooting for greatness. That's definitely somebody that I see in my eyes. And also Tyler Sneed. He plays slot receiver. He's a workhorse, man. He came in as a walk-on, earned a scholarship, and man, he's been heading for it since then.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of great guys. I mean, you had mentioned your quarterback there, Holt Nailers. I mean, I do know solid dude off the field too. So I mean, obviously, you got a lot of great guys that do come through that program. Very competitive conference too. I mean, I know you guys are always like, really up against some of the better talent in all of college football. Really, people don't give you guys credit. Your group of five, oh man, sucks hearing that you're a group of five. But I mean, it don't matter, man. You guys are still busting your butt up against like solid, competitors, week in and week out for sure. So,
Right.
um, so, got a couple other questions for you just to kind of maybe pick your brain a little bit as to how you feel about football. So, um, if you could change one game or one thing about this game of football, anything that you could think of, it could be like maybe one rule. You're the commish for one day. So, what would you change about this game?
If I could change one rule, it would be the targeting rule. I mean, I feel like, you know, some calls is like, you know, obviously targeting, but some hits you can't control that. Like if you have a lot of momentum, it's hard to slow down. But I would definitely change that rule. I I was I got called for targeting against Cincinnati on kickoff. I ran down, ball carrier is running. He ducked his shoulder, I ducked mine. I put my helmet in his chest, and they kicked me out the game. And I was having a real good game. So yeah, that's definitely one rule that I'll take out because that really made me upset.
Yeah, I mean, most of the fans, probably 99% of the fans would agree with you. I mean,
Right.
this whole targeting thing is just kind of, all whack. I mean, I just, you know, how do you like put on the air brakes, man? Like you're in you're in midair. It's like, oh well, he's going down. What am I gonna do? So,
Yeah.
it happens all the time. But cool. So, what if you were to give your younger self some advice? I mean, let's go back to maybe your high school self. I mean, back in Houston, what would you tell a younger Bruce, to kind of prepare him for the next maybe 4 or 5 years of his career?
I would tell my younger self to, take prehab just as serious as you would anything else. I feel like it's just as important as anything else because, you know, it can help improve your athleticism, and it definitely prevents injuries. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Because growing up, I felt like I was a great individual. I worked hard, had a great work ethic. I was real coachable. So that's something that's definitely a void I wish I could, go back to.
Yeah, and you figure as a little kid, I mean, I say little kid because I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, 17 years old. I mean, probably a little smaller than you were now, but I mean, as a kid in high school, I mean, you feel like you're invincible, and you don't really think about like, the little details. So, because I mean, obviously, you don't want to get injured, although sometimes as a kid, it's like you don't even think about it. You don't even think about, protecting yourself and stretching things like that. It's like I ain't gonna stretch. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna like just completely dominate in this game, and
Right.
because I'm better than those guys. So
Right.
and typically in high school you can get away with a lot of things really. But yeah, it's definitely something like you said. I mean, taking those sorts of things seriously. So um, I do realize back in those days when you were in high school, you actually did participate in some other sports, such as basketball and track and field. Doing very well in those sports, actually. You mind just kind of sharing your experience, in those sports, and maybe how they have helped you as a football player.
Okay. Up to my sophomore year. Well, up to my junior year in high school, I played basketball. I also competed in track as well. I stopped playing basketball my junior year, and kind of focused on football a lot more. But I didn't put down. Didn't quite stop doing track. I ran the 100. I ran the 200. But my senior year in high school, my coach he kept bugging me to come out there and throw. I never wanted to do it because he kept telling me how explosive and strong I was and stuff like that. And I gave it a try, and I was probably one of the top guys in the region. I made it all the way to I made it all the way to regionals, and I was just competing with some of the big guys. So that was one sport that I took a lot of pride in once I started getting real good at it.
Yeah, and I mean, you figure, again, a guy your size putting up some of your numbers, I think, is a really, great thing. I mean, usually you want to see those big, like, kind of offensive, defensive lineman kind of guys like doing that sort of thing. But I mean, you're going out there, probably like I don't even know how big you were at the time. I mean, right now you're probably sitting 225, 230 right now. So what were you back then? Like maybe 200 pounds?
Uh, I was
Um,
I was probably the smallest guy out there throwing. I was looking at some of those guys. I was like, man, like for example, a dude named Adrian Pippery, and he probably threw like 73 feet and shot put, but he weighed like 250 pounds in high school. I was only like 210 pounds, between 210 and 220 pounds. So
Wow.
I was real small.
So let's just for the viewers, I mean, put this into perspective. 210-pound dude doing shot put, 57 feet. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good number, man. Like that'll help you place in a lot of events, for sure. And then also throwing the discus about 162 feet,
Right.
also a decent number. I mean, those are obviously not Olympic level things, but I mean, for a guy who's a high schooler doing that, I mean, you're that makes you really one of the more athletic guys like in your area for
Right.
sure. So I think it's great because I mean things like that really do translate to football. I mean, again, like you said, I mean, just kind of being more explosive, getting off on the snap and being able to, just kind of, you know, go straight. It's like, hey, there's the play, like there's the ball carrier. That's where I need to be, and you're shooting off like a cannon, and trying to make that play for sure. So, awesome, love it. What about you off the field, dude? Tell me a little bit about, who is Bruce Bivens? What are you into? What are your likes, dislikes? Tell me something about yourself that you want to share.
Uh, Me as a person, I'm a real big family guy. So I like to hang around my family. I have two sisters. I have a twin sister. I have a younger brother. Um, like I love the outdoors. I like to go fishing a lot. I like to read time to time. I'm a real homebody. I just like to enjoy my time to myself and my family. So yeah.
Cool. So, I'm gonna pick your brain just on that just a little bit. So you're a home dude. I mean, you like the outdoors, but obviously you're inside too. So I mean, you got maybe a TV show that you like to watch occasionally. Like, tell me a little bit about like what's your favorites there.
Uh, Far as like TV show, like I like to watch like superhero type stuff. Is like when I get on the field, I feel like like I don't know. I have a real animated mind. I like watching stuff like The Flash. Like that show's not real animated though, but it's a show called The Flash. It's a show called The 100. Stuff like that, like superhero stuff, like real adventures. Action, a lot of action and stuff like that. So I like things like that.
So, being a Bruce, I want you to answer this question for me. So, are you more Bruce Wayne or Bruce Banner? Which one would you rather be?
Uh, I mean, I feel like that's a that's a gimme. Bruce Wayne. I mean, he's actually my favorite superhero too. So I mean, Batman. So
Awesome, sweet. I mean, I always think about Bruce Banner, the Hulk. I mean, obviously a very smart guy, but when he gets pissed off, he's able to like, you know, grow 9 feet, 10 feet tall, and just kind of, completely annihilate like anything that's in front of him. So, anyways, kind of neat. All right, man. As we begin to wind down, I mean, I try and ask everybody this question. It's really just a why question. So, tell me why you play this game, and just kind of your motivation. Go for it.
uh, obviously, I love the game of football. I mean, I want to be great in it. I mean, growing up, I really, that's all I used to do growing up. I used to play sports, and I obviously grew to love to play football, and then that's just something I want to excel in, and I watched it on TV. I seen the guys playing in the NFL, and I said I wanted to do that. And my family, they motivate me. Times haven't been the best times, but I know we're going to get through them and stuff like that. So they definitely motivate me to keep going to the highest level. I mean, why not do something you love? Why not get paid to do something you love? And it's not about the money. It's all about loving the game and trying to be the best that you can be. The money will come. I just love the game. I want to make it away from my family doing something I love.
Awesome. I mean, I think we all would agree in that for sure. One last question before I let you go, man. Give your pitch to all those teams in the NFL, man. Tell them why they need to take a chance on you, draft you, sign you, and what kind of teammate you'd be for their program.
Uh, I feel that like as a player, you're getting a leader, a real vocal guy, explosive, instinctive football player. So, and it's real hard to find those type of guys, but you got one right here.
Awesome. I mean, obviously, you need to have these guys that you can have out on the field that are able to flick that switch
Right.
and explode. And I feel like that is kind of who you are. I mean, you're the kind of guy who, I mean, it sounds like right now, I mean, very chill dude, laid back. You're the kind of guy who would just kind of, spend some time with his dog or maybe go out fishing or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, you get out there on the field, the ball is snapped, and you're going like full speed at, wherever you need to be. So obviously that's what you bring to the table, man. You bring to the table a lot of grit and, just kind of explosion, like you were saying. So,
For sure.
um, Bruce, I do wish you best of luck moving forward, man. I mean, obviously this upcoming fall season, and then afterwards, whenever you do make that transition to the pros, I wish you best of luck. So, you take care, all right?
You too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Again, this is Bruce Bivens. He's a linebacker out of East Carolina. Definitely check him out.